My name is Raymond Hawks. I'm the Chief of Police in Capac, Michigan. I've been the chief for about 6.5 years. Capac is a small community, about 1,800 people.
It's just a small, little, quaint town. When we first moved here, it had 2 stoplights. Now it has 1.
It's a town where everybody knows everybody else. And if anybody needs help, certainly somebody will help out.
My name's MikeThorpe. I own a towing facility here in Capac called Mike's Towing and Hauling. We've been in business here for about 4 years now. We do an awful lot of keys locked in the car, a lot of flat tires. Wintertime, we do an awful lot of accidents, stuff like that. For the most part, summers are pretty calm around here. Well, we've known the chief for probably about 5 years, as being a resident of Capac. He's a really nice guy, really kind-hearted guy. Many people in this town have his private cell phone number and are told that if they need him 24 hours a day to call him. He's just that type of an officer.
I got a call right out of the station at 8 o'clock in the morning. I kind of figured it's going to be a rough day. I responded to a call of reckless driving, of a suspect driving up and down the street recklessly. As I came around the corner on his street, he was coming head-on at me. He was doing about 45 miles an hour. I drove up onto a lawn to miss him, and by the time I got turned around and got back out to the main street, he had already gone down the entire block, turned back into his subdivision again. And so I headed that way, and then I saw his car in his driveway. So I parked my car next to his, and I called for a wrecker to come and tow his car.
Chief Hawks had mentioned the car that he wanted to have towed out of a driveway. So we backed up to the vehicle to make an attempt to tow it. The chief had gotten out of his patrol car and came up to the driver's door of the wrecker to mention something to me.
And I heard a noise to my right, which is towards the suspect's house. And as I turned to look to my right, he was on the porch with a rifle aimed right at me. And before I could react at all, he shot me.
Shots fired, officer down, he's been hit.
Is the man still shooting?
Yeah, the chief's been shot.
The first shot hit the chief in his right arm, went clean through his arm and into his chest.
He's been shot twice.
He's been shot twice, can you see?
Once in the arm, once in the chest.
Okay, can you see, where's the shooter?
And then I heard other shooting, pow, 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 pow.
And bullets were just ringing out one after another. This is for real. This guy's throwing real bullets at you. The wrecker got hit with 2 bullets right behind the driver's head, right through the metal of the cab. He went in his house and we figured he was just reloading or getting another weapon. Did not believe that this was over.
But I knew I was hurt pretty bad. I could feel my body cavity filling with blood, and I couldn't hardly move.
We got help on the way, Ray.
Give me the fire department over here.
Okay.
I'm dying. Give me the fire department over here.
Yep, Ray, are you still on the way if he can still hit you?
Yeah.
And he just basically was screaming that he was dying, that he was needing help.
Wait a minute. I understand, yep.
Tell me exactly what happened.
The Capac police chief was having a vehicle towed across the street, and the residents come out and shot him. We do have him? Yes, he's on the ground.
He had a collapsed lung, and then it was pushing against his good lung and his heart. So he literally was drowning. He was literally drowning in his own blood.
I'm dying, man.
I know, buddy. Hang on, buddy.
I can't breathe.
I finally asked one of the guys to get into my car and get my cell phone. And I think MikeThorpe did that for me, and again, put himself in the line of fire.
He had mentioned that he needed to call his wife. He had to call his wife.
He says, "Hi, honey, I've been shot." And I said, "This is nothing to joke about, because stuff like this doesn't happen in a small town."
And I said, "Honey, I'm shot. It's not good. And I just want to tell you that I love you."
I said, "I will be there in minutes."
We had called 911 a couple different times, trying to get EMS in there.
They kept asking Central Dispatch, where was the ambulance? Why wasn't it here?
The fire department's like 1 street over, and they ain't here yet.
Well, they can't go in while there's still the shooter there.
I knew I was dying. I mean, I knew that it was near the end right there.
I can't move. I can't breathe. No.
Okay, Ray, hang in there, okay?
We had to go probably about 3 city blocks to be able to get to where the other officers had the EMS and the fire and rescue held up at. So we figured we'll put them in the patrol car and drive them out of there. Well, we made an attempt to try to lift him, and you know, he's a pretty good-sized gentleman, and there was just no way we could get him in the back of that patrol car. So that's when we decided that, you know, the only other thing that I know in my line of work to move something I can't lift is to use my wreckers.
We needed to get him help, and we needed to get him out of there, and if that's the only way, you know.
And me and 2 other gentlemen grabbed him by his gun belt and dragged him onto the flatbed.
They literally just heaved him up there.
The next thing I knew, I was on the wrecker. And I heard my wife's voice, and I think that's what brought me out of my unconsciousness.
You would never think that you'd use your tow truck to haul people on. You know, we're not even allowed to haul cars with people in them, let alone hauling just people on them.
Just as they put me into the ambulance and locked me in, my vision went blind.
And they were extremely speeding to get him to the hospital, and once they got him there, they took him immediately right into surgery.
I'd lost 2/3 of my blood by the time I got to the hospital. The doctor said when I got to the hospital, I had less than 5 minutes to live. So if Mike and the other, I call them my angels, if they hadn't got me out of there when they did, I would have died.
And the family greeted me at the hospital in tears that, you know, we're able to get him out of there safely in the amount of time that we did.
And then they put me in a medically induced coma, and I woke up 17 days later. It took 7 days for me to be able to pick my arm up and touch my nose. That's how bad I was.
And then, you know, just little by little, you know, he regained strength until the day he came home.
And what a blessing that was to get home after 50 days in the hospital.
Oh God, just to have him at home with me was unbelievable. If Mike and those other people hadn't did what they did to save his life, he would not have even made it to the ambulance. He would have been dead at the scene. He's my husband and I love him. I would give my life for him. But for them to do the same thing, to know that that guy is there and could shoot you at any time and still care enough about somebody that's dying and to risk your life for him, that's a true hero.
It's hard to define a hero because everybody keeps calling me one, and I don't see myself as one. I just see myself as being fortunate enough to have been there with the right equipment when they needed it.
Well, these guys put their lives on the line for me. They knew I'd been shot. They knew that shooter was only 45 feet away. They came across right in front of his window to help me. It means everything to me. They'll be my angels forever.